I went from 60 kgs to 80 kgs during university while staying lean and keeping my six pack. I went from hating how small and skinny I was to building an aesthetic physique that I'm so proud of. I don't have the best genetics and I started off in a worse position than most people. So if you're a skinny guy who wants to bulk up and build an aesthetic physique that not only makes you more attractive but makes you feel more proud of yourself, this is your ultimate guide to bulking up. Now growing up, I was always extremely skinny. When I first started lifting weights, I only weighed 60 kilos. I was tired of being so small and skinny. I was tired of feeling invisible with my shirts always being so baggy. From the ages of 13 to 18, I was a professional wrestler where I was constantly told that I had to bulk up and look more intimidating if I wanted to be successful. But still, I could never eat enough food. My appetite was so small that I felt like it was impossible for me to bulk up and become bigger. Now by late 2021, I had just turned 18 and I was tired of being so small and weak. So I finally started training hard in the gym 6 days a week and I became obsessed with it. Every day I would walk to the gym after school and I would train hard, bringing every single set to failure for 2 hours at least per day. When I was studying for my A-level exams, I would bring my textbook and my notes with me to the gym so I could still study and still be in the gym training hard. Over those months of training, I had trained hard and increased my muscle mass significantly. I'd gotten stronger, gotten more jacked. However, I made one mistake. I hadn't locked in on my diet. I hadn't bulked up, and so I looked like a prisoner of war. I was so emaciated. I hadn't put enough effort into bulking up and eating in a caloric surplus. I decided that I needed to change all that when I entered university, and for the first time in my life, I became disciplined at eating in a calorie surplus. I decided to follow a lean bulk, where I ate 300 to 500 calories above my maintenance calories. For the first time in my life, I became stronger, more muscular, and bigger. My weight increased whilst I stayed lean enough to still have abs, which allowed me to feel more confident and proud of my physique. Because of me fixing my diet by implementing the strategies that I talk about in this video, I was finally able to bulk up and build the aesthetic body that I dreamed about. So here's exactly how I gained 20 kg naturally while staying lean and building an aesthetic physique from scratch. Now, a lot of the advice on how skinny people should bulk is completely wrong. All the videos I watched told me that I needed to do a dirty bulk, where they would eat like 10,000 calories of McDonald's and pizza every day so they could gain as much size and weight as possible. They said that you'd be able to just cut and become aesthetic after dirty bulking by just cutting back on the calories, and it would be so much quicker and easier than bulking slowly. But doing a dirty bulk is the worst thing you could possibly do. When you do a dirty bulk, most of the weight you gain, it won't be muscle, it will just be fat. You'll gain a ton of fat, you'll become uglier, you'll look like you've never worked out a day in your life, you become less confident, and the only benefit you'll get is that the number on the scale will be higher. After that, you'll have to starve yourself for months in order to actually look muscular, and you'll end up wasting so much more time. The proper way to bulk is to do a lean bulk. Instead of just trying to eat as much food as you possibly can, instead find your maintenance calories and then eat 300 to 500 calories above it. Now, once you find your maintenance calories, which you can do on any of those websites, just by putting in your stats like your height and your weight and the amount of exercise you do roughly, just add an extra 300 to 500 calories on top of that number. That's your new calorie goal. That means that you can bulk up by literally eating an extra bowl of pasta or having a few more pieces of bread throughout the day. When you follow a lean bulk, it becomes easier to be consistent because you don't constantly have to be eating 24/7 so you can hit that 5,000 calorie number. And instead you can remain lean when you're bulking. Your abs may be less visible and you may have less veins and vascularity, but you'll still look like you work out and have an aesthetic physique whilst also gaining muscle and strength. Unless you're a strong man, you do not need to look like Homer Simpson in order to build muscle. Now, if you want to bulk, you need to know how many calories you're eating per day. If you don't track your calories, you won't know if you're in a caloric deficit or a surplus. It's very easy to think that you're eating enough, but then eat less than you need to. So I use MyFitnessPal to track my calories. However, you can use any other calorie counting app if you want. Now, what I did to make sure that it was accurate was that I weighed my food using a digital scale that you can buy in any shop. So I knew I was eating the proper amount of pasta, of cheese, of peanuts. I knew exactly how much I was eating per meal. Now, if you've ever been skinny and you've desperately wanted to bulk up and not be victim weight, you probably have a smaller appetite than most people. You feel that you have to force yourself to eat even after you're full. Now, the solution to this is eating higher calorie foods. Focus on eating peanut butter, eggs, bread, pasta, milk in order to hit your macros. You can even drink more smoothies so you can get liquid calories so it's easier to eat. When you're bulking, your diet doesn't have to be extremely clean and healthy all the time. It's a lot easier to eat 1,000-calorie pizza rather than eat 1,000 calories of chicken and rice. Now, of course, it's always better to eat healthier, but if you're bulking, you can eat less clean and less healthy in order to hit that macros if you desperately need to. Now, another trick is to eat snacks throughout the day. By doing this, it splits up the calories you need to eat throughout the day, which makes it so much easier for you to hit your calorie goal. Like if you eat 60 grams of peanuts and a glass of milk, that's 500 calories right there. So let's say you had to eat 4,000 calories or something. Instead of having like 3 big meals, you could have 3,000 calorie meals and then have the other 1,000 calories of snacks throughout the day. This splits up the amount of time, so it'll be a lot easier to eat it. Now, one of the best ways to bulk for skinny people, which is very weirdly extremely controversial, is that you should eat the same meals every day. Every time I've told someone that I eat the same meals every day, they always respond in shock and say that I'm so obsessed and I should just enjoy food. And I'd always tell them that I enjoy the food I eat and I like the fact that I know the exact way to cook it, how much time it takes, the exact amount of calories, and I wouldn't need to spend a huge amount of time or money cooking it or having to be like going down to shops constantly. But it would always fall on deaf ears. They would refuse to listen and think that I was just being crazy for doing it. But in truth, I eat in order to build an aesthetic physique. I enjoy tasty food, but the satisfaction I get from having a muscular aesthetic physique is so far beyond the satisfaction from food. Now, when you eat the same meals every day, it takes out all the work of having to figure out the recipe and getting new ingredients every single time, so you can focus on other more important things. In order to bulk, you need to eat a lot more food. So you should make eating as simple as easy as possible. Otherwise, you'll never be consistent at it. If for every meal it requires a huge amount of time, you're just going to put it off and not eat that amount of food. Versus if you eat the same meals every day and you know exactly off the back of your hand exactly how to cook it, you're so much more likely to eat those meals because it's easier for you to cook them and prepare them. Now, one mistake that you need to avoid if you want to successfully bulk up is don't fall for this thing that you'll do a bulk for a few months, like 3 months, and then you'll do a cut and then you'll be finished. If you're a skinny guy, your bulk should be slow and taken over years of time. So what you should do is you start off at this weight, say it's 60 kg, and then you bulk up a bit to like 70, and then you take a small cut. Then you bulk up a bit again, and then you just take a small cut. And then you bulk up again, and then you take a small cut. And that process continues and continues and continues until you've reached your desired physique or your desired weight, and then you can maintain it from there. So now you know exactly how to bulk properly, how to eat properly. That's the exact steps that I use in order to bulk up from 60 to 80 kilos. However, if you don't train properly, if you don't lift intensely, if you don't lift till failure, if you don't follow the training split, if you're not consistent, bulking will be totally useless because all you'll be doing is gaining fat and not gaining muscle. So make sure that you're lifting intensely, lift until failure for every set, at least bringing the last set till failure, because otherwise you're leaving gains on the table and you're wasting them. Now, thank you for watching this video. If you learned how to properly lean bulk and actually build an aesthetic physique, please like the video and subscribe to the Unlimited Power Self-Improvement channel. And just remember that this will take time, Bulking, especially when you're lean bulking, it will take years of your time. However, that time will pass by anyway. The time that it takes you to bulk up and build an aesthetic physique, it will go by anyway, regardless if you lift weights or if you don't, regardless if you train hard or you're lazy and stay in bed. The time will pass anyway, and this journey is worth it. It's worth bulking up so that you're actually proud of your physique when you look in the mirror. It's worth it to be more muscular than every other person around you. When you are so muscular, you will stand out and be an outlier around everyone else. And that's an amazing feeling when you know that you put in the work when everyone else was too lazy to do it. Now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.